Welcome to Arts Camp. This is a pastel class. So we will be working with pastels, chalk pastels, and some other materials. And my name is Liz, so I'm glad that you're here today and that you'll be part of Arts Camp this week. We have got 3 different projects that we will work on with our chalk pastels. And so we'll go ahead and get started on the first one. The first one that we will be doing is a Northern Lights, like Aurora Borealis. So you can see it kind of looks like the Northern Lights shining back there with some snow and everything. But the materials that you need for this project are, you will need your chalk pastels, you will need black construction paper, and a piece of thicker white paper, kind of like cardstock. And the way that we are going to create our template for the light shining, we are going to take our cardstock and we're going to tear it like 3 or 4 different times horizontally to make our different layers for the lights. And you're going to want to tear it instead of cut it, because it kind of just gives that more of that natural edge to it. So you can we'll start by just tearing and so there's one, and this is our second one. You can go up and down, kind of if you think of how like a mountain range looks, you can tear along those lines. There's a second one, and three, and the 4th one here. So you'll lay your other 3 off to the side, and you're going to want to make sure for when you use chalk pastels that you have something laid down to protect your work area. Whether it's old newspapers, scrap papers, a towel. So you're going to want to have something like that. And chalk pastels will get a little messy. Your hands will get dirty and colorful, but that is okay. It's nothing to get upset about. And you might just want to keep a paper towel or a rag handy so that you can kind of clean your fingers off in between using, so you won't smear all of your colors together. But we'll start with taking just one of our pieces that we tore, and you're going to pick some colors. And we're going to just color right along the edge. And you're going to want to color kind of heavy so that you'll see a little bit of that chalk dust left on your paper. And you can even layer colors. You can practice layering colors. You don't have to do the same color all the way across. So you could come and do another color below it. And like I said, color kind of heavy so that you can see the dust kind of left on your paper here, because that's what we're going to rub off, and that's what's going to create the lights look. All right, so see, your hands will get dirty. It is okay. We'll just kind of wipe them off, and when you're finished with your project, you can wash them with soap and water, and you'll never be able to tell you were dirty. So you'll get your black construction paper and you'll lay it down, and we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So you're going to take your piece that you tore and you're going to lay it close to the top where you can still see some of the black paper underneath it. All right, and you're going to start down here on the white paper that you tore and just rub your fingers in an upward motion. And you're kind of rubbing some of that dust off onto the black paper. And you'll see that my white paper is shorter than the black construction paper that I have. So if that happens and yours is shorter, we'll just kind of move it, and so that you can finish all the way up to the edge. So there's your first layer of your light shining. So then we'll put that one off to the side. You'll get another one of your tour pieces. And you might want to pick a different color from what you use then, but you don't have to. You can use the same colors, but for the Northern Lights, there's usually some different colors that they have shining in there. So I used a blue and green the first time, and this time I'll use some orange and yellow. And again, you'll just go along the top and color kind of heavy and make sure you see some of that chalk dust left on it. And you can even layer these colors as well. Oops. So I've got some orange and yellow here. Now when you put this piece on, you're going to put it down a little bit lower than where your first one was. And it's okay if some of the areas touch. That'll be just fine. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put your finger starting on the paper and just rub upwards. And you're rubbing that chalk dust onto the black paper. And then move it. You can move it if it's still too short. So we've got a second layer. And if you didn't want to do 4, if you only wanted to do 3 layers, or if you wanted to do more than 4, you can do 5 layers as well. Just whatever you like. So we finished with that one. We'll get another one. And you might want to move your black construction paper, the piece that will be your actual artwork, kind of out of the way when you're coloring on the top, just so you don't get anything on your artwork piece where you'll have it. So for this one, I'm going to use some red and a little bit of blue. And just do the same thing to this one. We'll color kind of heavy along the top edge. Make sure you see some of that dust left on your paper. And then I'm going to go back with some blue. And when the blue and the red smear together and come off the paper, it should create kind of a purple color. All right, so then I'll get my black piece back, and I'm going to kind of go down a little bit lower again. And start by rubbing that up. And then we'll move that onto the end. And then you can see where the red and blue mixed together, it kind of does look purple, more purple there. All right, so I'm going to do one more. I'm going to have 4 different layers of the lights. And for this last one, I think I'll do a dark green again. Just a note, if you only have blue, red, and yellow, those are the primary colors. And if you have blue, red, and yellow, you can mix to get other colors as well. So the red and the blue will mix to make purple. Red and yellow will mix to make orange. And then yellow and blue will mix together to make green. So if you're ever coloring or painting or working on something and you don't have all the colors that you want, as long as you have your 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, you can mix and make some other colors. So we'll go back, we'll do right on the top again, right along the edge. If you do break it, that's all right. A broken pastel will still color. So just color kind of heavy to get some of that dust left behind again. All the way to the end down there. I'll go back and put a little bit of green in there. All right, so we'll get our artwork back and we'll put this one down lower. And we'll start to rub that one upwards. And take it all the way to the edge of your black construction paper. And then you can wipe your fingers off on your napkin so that you don't get fingerprints other places on your paper that you don't want it. Like I have a little bit up there, but that is okay. I mean, it looks kind of natural like that. So I have got the 4 layers of the lights here. So the next step that you're going to do is you're going to get a white, and we're going to create just kind of like a snowy ledge, a snowy ground down at the bottom. So we'll come, you can color, and you can experiment coloring heavy, coloring light, experiment laying your pastel on its side and coloring. It kind of gives it a different texture. So just kind of play around and see which way you like to use them best. So we'll color. This is our snowy ground here. And then I like to rub it on the side and get that kind of a softer texture down at the bottom there. And then you might want to dump your paper off if there's a lot of chalk pieces, the dust laying around on it. For this, you can also even take your finger and you can blend your pastel together. It kind of just rubs it into the paper more and gives it more coverage down there. All right, so after you do this, you can leave it like this, or you can add some trees or maybe a polar bear or something. You can get a black and we'll have make some silhouettes of something down there. I'm gonna put some trees down here on mine. So we'll just color in some trees. You can have small ones that would be kind of far off in the background, and your larger ones would be closer to the front. And like I said, you could add a polar bear in there if you wanted to, or anything else that you feel like you might see in the up in the North Pole. So then you can even take some of your colors that you use for your lights and just kind of put a little bit of coloring around it like those colors are reflecting on the snow. So you can do that. Now, since chalk pastel does kind of smear, you really want to make sure that you dust it off or blow it off the extra really good so that it won't get colors all over your paper. So you can just take it and bump off the extra. If you rub it with your hands, you will smear your color all over it. But so you can just dump off the extra or blow it off if you see any dust on it. But this is your Aurora Borealis picture that you made with your pastels. When you come back next, we will work on 2 projects. We'll start 2 projects the next time, and then we'll complete both of those the next. So I'm so glad that you joined us again today, and we will see you next time. Thanks.